Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's May 13th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And a quick look at our daily chart. You can see we're still turning down off that midline and the purple line before we get into the overbought territory up here. These bars look very similar days, mostly range days that closed on their low. So, is this a turning point? Are we going to turn down? We'll just have to wait and see. You would expect to get some resistance here, but we may end up pushing through, and then you would expect them to come back and test it. So either way, it looks like two similar days, and the volume continues to be a little lower. So we'll just have to see what tomorrow brings and where we go from there. But anyway, there's a look at the daily chart, and let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart. Take a look at it and go through the trades. Not a lot of trades today, so you'll see that when we get over there. Let's flip over. Okay, first things, no news today, so we didn't have to worry about any news items sending the market into a frenzy or anything. But what we had was a spike and channel down, but we also had this range. You can see the overnight lows. We bounced here. We did push through momentarily, came back, tested again, but we continued to respect this trend line down until we got a break here, and now it looks like we're attempting a retest of the lows. So whether or not there's another, the market closes in just a few minutes, so it doesn't look like we'll probably make any new lows. My guess is it'll be tough to get through this overnight low. So we got a combination of a range and a spike and channel down, and prices really respected the lows of the range. Once we did have a failed breakout, but after we got back in, we really have respected those lows since that point. So again, you can see not a lot of bars today. The volume continues to remain low, but you had to be patient today too. That you had to really wait on a trade. But let's zoom in here and we'll go through the trades. Try to get as close as I can here. Okay, we had this trend up with a break and a couple of legs up before we reversed, and the 7 o'clock hour came just as we're kind of making this turn, roll over here, a little correction. We had two legs in this last leg, and then we finally made a lower high here and a nice signal bar. Being that far away from the EMA on that lower high after the break in two legs, I like going short there. Depending on how you played this, you might have got a runner out of it. If you did, that might be the only trade you need today. There weren't any other real opportunities to get in this on the way down, but then we had a break. You really had a close outside here. I don't know if I'd call that convincing. This could be a little more like so. With this down here, it still fits about the same, and you don't get your close out till here at a new low. But even the other way, I don't think that was a convincing close outside the trend line. You do get one here though. Moved to a new low, and then it just kind of reversed and it bounced a little bit and went sideways. This is just too congested here. And then we went in this real tight range. Well, the only real chance I saw to enter was this broke higher and failed and turned down. When it went past here on the engulfing bar, I like entering on that. You might enter at the close here, but there's not a lot of room. I think there's exactly enough ticks to get out there. But so you could really enter it either way. I really liked it on the engulf. This is a big bullish bar. So when it ticks that one tick higher and fails and turns down and goes out the other side, you just about you got them trapped there. And I would have set my trend line on those first two swings there. And again, this makes a pretty good move down, then just starts going sideways again. I don't see anything you can really enter in here until you get this failed break lower, and you get again, it breaks lower and fails and turns up. I do not like the engulfing bar on this one because it's a inside bar and it has no body. it could end up being congestion. But if it breaks above that and you got enough room back to test the breakout area, I say take that trade. I liked it. And of course, you get up here and you get another break higher that turns down. This one is close to being red because we've already broke out and moved down one time, and this one actually breaks out and fails at the top and turns down and closes on the lower end. I think if you want to be a little aggressive, it's okay to go short right there. It is aggressive though, so make sure you understand that. If this would have closed another tick outside and got a real solid close outside that, maybe you make that one red. But I liked it either way. Runs down and we test the overnight lows there. Originally I had this a little higher, but once we made this next low that's pretty much the same as the overnight, I moved the line down a little bit there. We do get a close outside here, and we tried 3 times to go lower and fail, so you got a triple test there right off the midline, and if you wanted to, you could say off of the support there as well. This actually breaks lower and fails, instantly turns, it goes right out the other side. I don't like entering this one above this bar. I think you got to wait for this one to close, and I did make it green, although I somewhat like this trade. If it breaks above that, we're probably headed back up to the highs again. We probably get another leg like this one. As you can see, we get a perfect measured leg up and it turns back down again. So I like that one just because it's going to trap people. And then you make your new high, perfect measured leg, and then you come back and you get a lower high with a nice signal bar. I like going short there. You really have a failure here, but it closes on the wrong side of the EMA, and I don't know if you're really looking for a failure right there. We didn't quite get back to the trend line. We just basically made a measured move there. So I think you got to skip that one. Turns out to be a great move down, but notice you get a close outside, move to a new low, and it bounces. Again, no chance to really get long up through here. And then you got your break at a new high, and it tries multiple times. You could probably argue there's a triple test there, but it's just too congested. I didn't draw it, but you got a nice little congested range here. So I don't think you can go short right there. You just don't have room to get out. And you see it does bounce. It ends up going lower, but it doesn't. A lot of times when it bounces, it's, you're going to get stopped out. But notice how it tests the we test the overnight lows once, we test them again, it went a little bit lower, and then finally you make a higher low up. This one's tempting, but I think you got a lot of resistance there. It's probably going to go higher, but I would wait and see if you can't get something better than that. It's getting late in the day, and of course it runs up, you get a break and 2 legs to a new high, and right off the trend line it breaks higher again and fails and turns down. You could either go short. I actually like going short on the engulfing bar there, but most of you are probably better off to wait for this to close. And it's still really bearish. Being off that trend line, I'd say take it. And it is a second entry short as well, because we got a double bottom across here. And so first entry, second entry. So it's a second entry short. Nice signal bar right off the key entry point. You had this leg up with this channel up with a break and 2 legs up to a new high right off the key entry point. So just a lot of reasons to like entering right there. I like that one. And that pretty much did it. There just weren't a lot of trades today. I didn't measure this one, but you'd want to look for I'd probably measure it to there first. And you see the measured move is going to be outside the trend line, and prices could never break that trend line until almost 4 o'clock. I mean, it didn't hold, but it didn't hold at all. It just broke outside and then it instantly turned down. So yeah, what we had was a spike and channel down, but prices also respected these overnight lows of this channel here as well, or this range here as well. So kind of a combination pattern there. But in the big picture, I'd probably call this a spike and channel down. But but I think it did help you to understand the range there because you did get lots of resistance off the range low. So just kind of a quiet day. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of price action, not a lot of volume. Uh, we'll see where this thing's going, but it seems like the volume is really, really come to a creeping halt here almost. So still plenty of volume in here to trade it, but not like what we're used to. So that's the way I would word it. Anyway, not much else I can say about today, so I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.